I gotta make one last video regarding this leaked Wikileaks video, the collateral murder video that we saw yesterday. Headline news in every online news organization, TV news organizations, except for one, CNN. In this video, I'm going to show how CNN is a proven government psy-op, a psychological operation based on propaganda, controlling the public thought, how they're going to perceive things, okay? So, you know, other news organizations, even Fox News had it as a front story. It doesn't show it in this screenshot, but for a while, their top story was Army accused of video game killings, as we see here. But CNN, all day almost, they had Tiger Woods and do people love their iPads as their top story. Heck, even Al Jazeera actually shows real news for their top stories. But then, for literally about half an hour, I saw the top story on CNN was this Wikileaks video. But then, right after that, it skipped to their top story was then NCAA. Like, that's more important. But then you scroll down the page, it's not even anywhere on their page anymore. But you look at the leaks or the links, and you can see the popularity of the stories. The most popular story by far is video shows journalists' deaths in Iraq. But now let's actually look at the video and how they covered it. This video proves that they're not a real news organization. They're just controlled by the Pentagon. It's even admitted the way that they say it. Let's take a look.
Okay, let's do it. Stand by, everyone. Straight to you, Wolf. As long as you want, Jack, go.
Some startling and disturbing new video has just come into the Situation Room. It's come to show a military assault in Iraq 3 years ago that resulted in the death of a journalist and his driver.
Okay, hold on. You notice how Wolf presents this? He just says, a video has come into the Situation Room. Let's take a look. Okay, he doesn't say is where they got the video. You know, he's making it sound like the Pentagon decided to release this video on their own cognizance. That's not the case. You know, the Pentagon denied the Freedom of Information Act that was given. You know, Reuters tried to do their own investigations. They wanted to copy the video. They filed the reports, the Freedom of Information. You know, they did all the paperwork they needed to get, and they were denied. But so they showed a video for a while, but they don't actually show anything. All they show is talking about how they have a weapon.
Got a weapon too. Hotel 26, Crazy Horse 18, have 5 to 6 individuals with AK-47s. Request permission to engage.
Roger that. We have no personnel east of our position, so you are free to engage over.
Alright, we'll be engaging.
Roger, go ahead. I can't get them now because they're behind that building.
Anybody got an element?
We got an RPG.
Alright, we got a guy with an RPG.
I'm gonna fire.
Okay, hold on. Let's come around behind buildings right now from our point of view.
So all you hear him say here is that he has an RPG and they have
Barbara
weapons.
Starr, Pentagon correspondent. Barbara, this video, what do we see from it?
And then who
Because
does he
it
bring
looks
on the show? The Pentagon correspondent. But now, listen to what she says here. Listen very carefully.
like they were asking for permission to engage. That means to fire, but we don't actually see the shots being fired.
We do not, Wolf, out of respect for the families of the 2 Iraqi employees of the Reuters news organization that were killed in this. We are not showing, after the video that you just saw here, it gets very brutal.
Okay, notice how she says, we are not showing. That means that the Pentagon, this is the Pentagon correspondent, is in control of what CNN does and does not show. She says, we are not showing. She didn't say, you are not showing. She just says, we are not showing. Then it's even more absurd what she just said. She said that they're not going to show it out of respect for the journalist families. Okay, what do you think the journalist families want to see? They want the American populace to see what actually happened here. It's completely absurd. And it's even more crazy when you think back to about a year ago when the protests in Iran were going on, and that beautiful Iranian woman Neda, they showed the graphic images of her being killed supposedly. Well, that all fit into their Zionist agenda of trying to overthrow the Iranian government. But the crazy thing is, I've learned recently that video was completely faked. It was fabricated. You could actually see her squirting fake blood into her face when she's lying there. It's not even real at all. If you'd actually, I'll link to that video here, but you might think I'm crazy, but that video was completely fake just to fit into their Zionist agenda, and that's why as soon as it happened, they showed it on CNN over and over and over again. But then when it comes to 2 journalists being killed, they say, we're not going to show it out of respect for the families. But listen to what she says.
Apache gunship helicopters flying overhead did attack this group of men on the ground and kill them. There was an investigation of this incident. The Army found no one at fault, that the units in the air, the helicopters in the air, had no reason to believe that there were journalists there on the ground with the insurgents. They say that nearby U.S. troops had come under attack, and that this shooting, which we are not showing the specifics of, was justified. Nonetheless, it is a grim reminder of
so let's just take a look at how they frame this whole thing here. It's nothing but CIA damage control. First, Wolf Blitzer didn't report that the video was leaked and it was covered up and hidden, and they denied the Freedom of Information Act from Reuters. He denied that. Then they only show the part of the video which says, oh, they have weapons, oh, he has an RPG. Then they cut it off and say, out of respect for the families, we're not going to show it. Then the first guest they have is a Pentagon correspondent saying that the Army already did an investigation and there was no wrongdoing. And it's just a complete government psy-op. But I have to hand it to him. MSNBC actually covered this well, and they gave a good introduction. Then they interviewed Julian Assange, the co-founder of WikiLeaks, and he came out with some startling information. He says that they're coming out with a new video soon about a slaughter in Afghanistan, and they're going to release that as soon as they do their investigation. Then he also had Lieutenant Colonel Schaefer on there, and he says that they did not follow the rules of engagement at all. If they were following the rules of engagement, they would have been trying to capture him for interrogation, but instead they were just trying to get the high score.
When you're using aviation as a primary source of delivery of weaponization of combat, of firepower, you've got to be very, very precise. This is what your
Let's see if I can find... Oh, here we go.
The first rule is you may to be better than good. We've got to be great. I understand the context of both ends of this, that there were a lot of RPGs coming out.
Let me make it really clear, though.
Yeah.
From your perspective, were the rules of engagement followed from what you see in this piece of videotape?
Let me be clear. Based on the fact this is not confirmed video from the Army, I don't know, but based on what I've seen only, and I'm making a judgment of what I've seen, no, they were not. The first rule is you may engage persons who commit hostile acts or show hostile intent by minimum force necessary. Minimum force is the key here. If you see 8 armed men, the first thing I would think as an intelligence officer, how can we take these guys and capture them? We don't want to kill people arbitrarily. We want the intel take. Now, most importantly, when you see that van show up to take away the wounded, do not target or strike anyone who has surrendered or is out of combat due to sickness or wounds. So the wound part of that I find a bit disturbing by the fact that you had people down, clearly down.
You're also not supposed to shoot people that are trying to rescue the wounded. That's a war crime. So this is real reporting compared to CNN, where they completely, they left tons of information out, and then their first thing is to have a Pentagon correspondent justifying all this, and she admits that we're not showing, we're controlling what gets shown. It's not up to CNN at all. So you already know, don't trust CNN.